Hello students, class 9. So your new chapter is going to start. The new chapter is structure of atoms, and today my topic is discovery of electrons. So in discovery of electrons means previously you know that Dalton's atomic theory you have studied. So according to Dalton's atomic theory you came to know that he told that any substance is made up of smaller particles which are indivisible. Those smaller particles are known as atoms. According to Dalton, anything is made up of very tiny small particles. They are called atoms and which are indivisible. That means it cannot be further divided. So in drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory we have learned that atoms are not indivisible. They can be divided further into smaller basic fundamental particles. So those basic fundamental particles are what? They are electron, proton and neutron. These three are the basic three fundamental particles. Now, how these particles have been discovered, how the scientists have studied and done experiment to discover these particles, what are the characteristics of these particles, how these particles are placed inside an atom. These things you are going to study now. That is the structure of atom. Inside the atom, what are present, how they are represented, where they are found, what are their masses, what are their charges, if any charge is there then. So we are going to study about that in detail. But today's topic is discovery of electrons. Actually, J.J. Thomson is the name of the scientist who discovered electrons. He has done one experiment. That experiment I have, for that experiment the materials that are needed, how he has done, it has been drawn here. This is called discharge tube experiment. But before coming to that, I want to say that how people came to know that substances are made up of charged particles. It has been found that if you are going to comb your hair, dry hair, and then bring the comb near to piece of smaller papers, smaller pieces of papers, if you bring the comb after combing your dry hair, if you bring the comb near to those pieces of paper, you will find that pieces of paper are going to get attracted. That is only possible if charge is present on those particles or in the comb. So from here it has been concluded that matter is made up of charged particles. Matter is having atoms, but definitely it may contain some charged particle also. Similarly, glass rod when rubbed with silk, same kind of phenomena can be seen. So actually what J.J. Thomson have observed, what experiment he has done, that I am going to say you in detail. This is a glass tube, simple glass tube, okay. Inside the glass tube, two electrodes are there, metal electrodes. One is cathode and another one is anode. These metal electrodes are connected to the battery, as you can see in the figure. Cathode means connected to the negative terminal, anode means connected to the positive terminal. This one is positive terminal and this one is negative terminal. Now inside the glass tube there is air. Nothing is there, that means air is there. So this glass tube is connected here with a vacuum tube. This one is called vacuum pump. Through the vacuum pump, the air from the discharge tube is taken out to reduce the pressure inside the glass tube, to reduce the pressure of the gas or air present inside the glass tube. For that, a vacuum pump is connected. Now, we know that air that is made up of gaseous particles, those particles in gaseous state are not good conductors of electricity. They become good conductors if we reduce the pressure to very low pressure, then it becomes a good conductor. And for conducting electricity, you have to supply a large amount of voltage also. A large amount of voltage has to be supplied in the discharge tube to break the bigger particles of gaseous substances into smaller particles so that they can move supply 10,000 volt. Electricity containing 10,000 volt has to be supplied through the battery to the discharge tube, and after that, after sending 10,000 volt in the discharge tube through the vacuum pump, the pressure inside the discharge tube, the air pressure is reduced. In the beginning, we will reduce the air pressure to 10 to the power minus 2 atmospheric pressure. General atmospheric pressure is 1. In general, the pressure of atmosphere is 1 atmospheric pressure. That has to be reduced to 10 to the power minus 2 atmospheric pressure. If we reduce the atmospheric pressure to 10 to the power minus 2 atmospheric pressure, what observation we are going to see? We will able to find that some colored emissions of light is occurring from this side to that side. That means inside the discharge tube, emission of colored light can be seen. Inside the discharge tube, the colored rays can be seen. So that means there might be some charged particles which are excited by passing electricity, and they are emitting these colored rays which are in the visible range. In next class you will learn that light rays consist of, maybe in class 9 physics also you have, that light rays consist of various color rays, and there is a range of colors which are visible to us, that is called visible range. The light rays are waves, so they have certain wavelengths. So a particular range of wavelength is considered as visible light. If the light is having wavelength greater than that range and less than that range, though those are not considered as the light rays present in visible range, they are ultraviolet rays and infrared rays which are not visible. So according to our experiment, the emission of light will occur. Those lights are in the visible, those rays are of wavelength in the visible range. So we will find some light rays are emitted, and inside the discharge tube some emission, colored emission light can be seen. And those colored depend upon which gas you have taken in the discharge tube. That is nature of the gas. Nature of the gas will determine the color of the rays emitted inside the discharge tube. If air, then different kind of color. If something else, nitrogen, helium, neon, different color will be found. Generally magenta color in case of air, magenta color rays are going to be found inside the discharge tube. If you reduce the pressure of the air inside the discharge tube to 10 to the power minus 2 atmospheric pressure. If we reduce the pressure further low, that is 10 to the power minus 4 atmospheric pressure. In this case, what new observation can be seen? We can find that inside the discharge tube, no certain color rays are visible. Instead of that, the discharge tube portion which is opposite to cathode, this one is cathode, so opposite to cathode, in this place fluorescence light is going to be emitted. When the light rays coming from the cathode is going to bombard with the glass present on the opposite side, due to this bombardment, fluorescent light can be seen here. Fluorescent light is emitted and they are going to enter our eyes, so we can find fluorescent light here. From here it has been concluded that there might be certain particles present near the cathode, and those particles get excited due to supply of high voltage current, and due to that the rays are produced, and those rays travel from cathode to anode, and they are going to show the fluorescent lights. So as the rays are traveling from the cathode, or as they are originating from the cathode, so these rays are known as cathode rays. These are known as cathode rays as they are originating from the cathode. So they are known as cathode rays. Now these rays consist of very small particles. It has been observed that these rays consist of very small particles, and they are the charged particles. When here, if negative charged substance has been kept, so it has been found the rays are going to be deflected. That means definitely these rays also consist negative charge, then only deflection is possible, otherwise there would not be any deflection. If we place a negatively charged substance here, the rays without moving here, they will get deflected, and that deflection is only possible if these rays are also consisting of negatively charged particle. So from here electron has been discovered. J.J. Thomson told that these cathode rays are made up of very small charged minute particles. Those particles are known as electrons. Experimentally it has been found that mass of an electron is 1 by 1840 times of an hydrogen atom, and we know that mass of an hydrogen atom is 1 by 1040 U. This one is the mass of one hydrogen atom, and this is 1840. We know that mass of an hydrogen atom is 1 U. So if the mass of an electron is 1840 times of an hydrogen atom, so we can consider that mass of an electron is 1840 U. This is the mass of an electron. Okay. And later on it has been found that in kg the mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. In kilogram, this is the mass of electron. It is so small, it is negligible. It is really negligible. So this you have to remember that this is the mass of an electron, and what is the charge of an electron? 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. C is known as coulomb, and coulomb is the unit of charge. So 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 negative charge. Each electron is going to contain this amount of charge, and each electron is having this mass. So you have to remember the charge of an electron, mass of an electron, who discovered electron, how it has been discovered, using the discharge tube, that you have to remember. So today I have completed my topic, discovery of electrons. Go through it, read the book and try to gather more knowledge. Thank you very much.